Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And welcome to part 2 of our annual Quest for the Best, in which we look back at the films that we didn't get a chance to watch last year. We watched the ones that everyone called the best of the year, and it all leads up to our best movies of 2019 list that'll be coming out next weekend. And this is a really impressive film because it's a film that was actually bold enough to say that the true villains of high school were the nerdy underdogs all along. I should have known it. Yeah, this is one of those films that I heard a lot of people saying, oh, this film, it's great, you gotta watch it. But I looked at the trailers and went, okay, it's one of those, we gotta go out to a party, it's our last party of high school kind of films. I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, like there was like overwhelming amount of those movies in like the late 90s.
In the late 90s, there was definitely that trend. Like,
Yeah,
I remember
like-
Say Anything came out, and everybody was like, oh, we can do that too. And everybody decided to keep doing that. And I remember when it got to Superbad, I went, all right, this one's good, I'm gonna hop out here. I have no interest to keep going with this.
Yeah.
I'm good. And I haven't even seen a lot of films like that in a while. But this one came around, and I looked at it and went, yeah, I've seen these types of films, I'm good. But as the year went along, I kept hearing people say, no, that one's actually really good, and it's really smart. And so we finally watched it, and I can tell you, yeah, it's really good, it's really smart. I joked about it a little bit earlier, but this film, it does sort of like take a lot of stuff that you expect from one of these films and kind of flips it on its head.
Yeah, but there are some tropes.
There's tropes.
Yeah, it's still stuck to some of the teenage movie tropes.
There are, but I feel like every time that did that, it still was a little bit smarter than what we normally got. We'll go ahead and say what the premise of this is. It follows two friends, Amy and Molly, and they are the only friends that each other has. Like, it's those two and everyone else is outside of their social sphere. That is it. They've spent their entire high school life studying. Just the two of them studying non-stop. That is all that they have been doing. They haven't gone out to any parties. They haven't made any other friends. They haven't joined any clubs that they didn't feel could possibly help them join a college. That was it. It has just been them laser focused on getting into a good school. And now they're about to graduate, and Amy is going to be going off to Africa for the summer to do charity work, and Molly is going to go off to Yale. And she is so proud that she got into Yale. And she wants to rub everyone's face in that. But she doesn't, because there's like an unspoken rule going around the school where you don't say what school you got into. Everybody keep that secret. Nobody go around and start bragging about what school you got into. Nobody go around and do that. Just keep it in. But you can tell she is sitting on that secret. She just wants to go up to all the slackers out there and just rub it in their face about how much better she is than all of them. Like, that is the feeling that I got from her. That she just has this big, smug sense of self-satisfaction. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I was reading too much.
Maybe. It's like, I didn't really feel like you kind of perceived her as like a jerk or like someone who thinks she's better than everyone
Definitely,
else.
you did get that feeling. I thought that she constantly had that feeling of I'm better than you.
But I thought it was more like, high school is just bullshit. I just want to like get out and like
No, this stuff is important.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like more of like not really like a selfish jerk, but more like determined to go on.
Why should I care?
More like determined to like go on to bigger, better things.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but she's kind of being a dick to everyone else about this. Like, there's a guy who comes up to him saying, yeah, we're going to be doing Shakespeare in the Park, and on the flyer and goes, I can't go because I don't want to. Like, just flat out telling them to their face. Like, you can tell that she just like, all the other stuff that you guys are doing is stupid. It's just stupid. I'm the one focusing on the big stuff. I'm focusing on getting into a school and getting my grades up. That's the important stuff. Like, that's the sense that I got from her.
fair enough.
But there comes this moment where she's in the bathroom, and these people come in there, and they're talking about her. And they're talking about her personality, which is something that I like. Normally in one of these films, if they did that trope of, oh, I overheard people making fun of me, it would be like appearance-wise, or it'd be like rumors and stuff. No, they're just like, yeah, she's boring. She has a bad personality. Like, I've never heard high school kids put someone down for having a bad personality. But that's such a better put down. It is such a better put down, and it's an accurate put down of her. So she comes out of the bathroom, and they're like, oh, shoot, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were in there. And she's like, oh, no, don't stop on my behalf. You know why? because I got into Yale. Like, she just decided to start rubbing it in their face. Like, yeah, I know we're not supposed to say it, but I've been sitting on this, so screw it. I'm gonna just shove it in your face. I got into Yale. And then she starts walking away, and one of the girls there goes, I got into Yale too. What? Yeah, I got 1560 on the SATs. I got into Yale. No, that can't be. And then one of the other guys goes, yeah, I kind of got into, like, Dartmouth.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I got into Harvard, like,
Yeah.
all these high...
And there's one guy there who looks like a complete stoner, just got, like, long pigtails and just, like, long braid hair. Just looks like he is a complete stoner. He goes, hey, man, don't worry about it. School's not all that important. I'm not even going to college. I got recruited for Google, you know, which, I mean, it's not Apple or anything, but it's fine. Yeah, and she starts freaking out. She starts running through the school. What school do you get into? What school do you get into? Yale, Harvard. Like, everybody is like, oh yeah, don't laugh, it was my 5th choice, but Harvard. Everyone got into, like, A-class schools, like top elite universities. And they also all just dicked around, just all went out, had parties. They all enjoyed their time. So this is the story of someone who spent their entire, like, high school existence just focusing on getting to a good school, only to find out, oh, I could also have enjoyed myself. I could have had fun.
Like, I guess that was the whole point, but it was like, to me, it was more like, wow, these people, like, pretty much, like brown-nosed their way into these schools, so...
Oh, I didn't get that sense at all.
I guess, like...
I mean, like I said, one of the girls actually goes, yeah, I got 15, 16
Yeah,
on the
but, like,
SATs.
that doesn't mean no one else, like, was
Well,
like
some of them
that.
possibly did. Some of them possibly did. But, yeah, but, I mean, this movie flat out stops and it says to you, oh, we could have been out there partying this entire time. We didn't have to sacrifice our high school years for this. So there's one night left. They know that there is a party that's going down. So they have to find where this party is. Because no one invited them. Because they don't talk to anybody. So no one invited them to this party, but they know that there's a big party, so they have to go out to it. And these two kids...
And it's, what? It's like Nick's party or something?
It's Nick's party is what it is.
Yeah, Nick is the vice president of the school, and Molly was the class president. Yeah.
And she's just constantly shit-talking him. Like, yeah, you know that part's just a popularity contest. I actually worked for stuff, okay? I actually worked to become president. Vice president, that's the popularity vote. That's just whoever's popular. That doesn't matter at all. She's just crap-talking him the entire time. Like I said, she can't not talk shit about people. So they decide they're going to try and find this party. And these two kids, Amy and Molly, they are just the biggest, I'm not going to say screw-ups, but you can just tell they have no social consciousness. Like, there's a moment in which they come out dressed for the party, and they're wearing the exact same outfit. And it's like a blue jumpsuit is what they're wearing. Like, it's not even fashionable if one of them wore it, but both of them are wearing it. And they're just like, stop, you're too good looking. You are too good looking. No, you're too good looking. No, like, I can't even deal with how amazing you look right now. Like, they are so supportive of each other. Kind of, we're gonna get into that later. But this is a film where, yeah, the thing that is the big saving grace of these two characters, I felt, was the fact that they are such good friends with each other. But this film, it basically then becomes one of those one crazy night type of movies where they gotta get to one place, then they gotta get to another place, and that's not the right place either, so then they gotta go to this place, and there's a crazy thing that happens with them having to get to a different place, and like their phone is dying, and they can't call for a ride anymore. Yeah, it's one series of events after another, just going from one crazy place to another. Like, the first party they go to is the rich kids party, and you wanna talk about the guy who, like, is even more of an outcast than they are. This is a guy who he is holding a giant, massive party on a yacht, and no one came at all. But
like,
he's still, but like, when,
but like he like basically is trying to like sell himself.
Yes,
to, like,
that is the best way to put it.
Yeah, because like when you went like on the last day of school, he comes in, he's got like a shirt with his face on it,
and he made gift bags for everyone that also have shirts with his face on it. Which is not something that I gotta applaud this film for. I look at this movie and I can look at every single character here and go, I was a little bit of that person. I was a little bit of that person at one time. Like, I'm talking shit about Molly, about how she's such a jerk. Man, I was that jerk. I was 100% that jerk. And that's one thing that I have to applaud this film for, is that it is bold for a movie to come in here and kind of turn to all the high school kids out there and just goes like, listen, I know you might think that you're hot shit right now. I know you might have a big superiority complex. you might just be an asshole. Like, I like that this film did that. I like that this film, it's not like most of those other films out there where it's like, well, I'm the one who studied, and that means that I'm the one with the good personality, and all the jocks, they're the ones to blame. This is the movie that comes in here and goes, you know, maybe the reason why they're all going to parties isn't because they're jocks or they're on the sports teams. Maybe they're just nice.
Maybe they just want to have fun.
And maybe the reason you're not being invited isn't because you're a nerd, but maybe it's because you're a jerk. Like, no film does that. And I had to applaud that because that's one of those things that, yeah, I didn't get invited to a lot of parties when I was in high school. And I had the idea of, yeah, well, it's because I'm not one of the popular kids who goes and does this and I don't conform to that. And as an adult, I look back and then go, oh, I was an ass. I would have punched myself in the face when I was in high school. I would have hated me in high school.
To be fair, I feel like a lot of high schoolers are like that.
Oh, yeah,
like,
which is why I like this movie. Why I feel like, yeah, a lot of high schoolers kind of need the message of this film.
It's like, you think you're hot shit, but you're not. Like,
Yeah.
that's the main message of this movie.
And normally when you see a film like that, it's making that about the jocks. And it's being told from the nerd's point of view. This is one of the rare times in which I've seen a film turn to the nerds and go, yeah, okay, yeah, it's good that you're studying. It's good that you're doing all this stuff. Have you ever thought you're also an asshole to everyone else? Have you ever thought that maybe that's the case?
Yeah, it's like, if you're just in high school, you're an asshole, most likely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, what clique you're in or anything.
Everybody's kind of an asshole at that age.
Yeah.
And this is one of those few films that I feel like kind of had that message in there. But, like I said, the rich kid who's just trying to sell himself, I remember going through that phase too, in which I was like, how do I become popular? Oh, I gotta promote the shit out of me. And it's like, that's not a thing that people say. So I love that. I love that this guy, and there's like a moment later on in the film where the kid kind of like, I want to say breaks down, but that implies that he was like crying or something. No, he finally just drops the facade, in which he was just like, do people really think this about me? Yeah, but I don't do any of that stuff. I don't even care about this stuff. And like he goes, he like talks about the stuff that he actually does care about. I was like, that's kind of like a unique thing.
Yeah.
Talk about that shit, man.
Yeah, it's like Molly goes up to him and is like, you do realize you can't buy friends like this. And he literally goes, but that's what my parents did. And my parents' parents did. It's like it's not.
He doesn't know any better.
Yeah, it's not that he's a conceited asshole. It's just like, he's just copying what his family did because he also wants to be liked and everything too.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the great thing about this film. So many characters have a lot of depth to them.
Some of them don't.
Well, so many of the characters who have importance in the film. Because there's a lot of characters in this movie. And I actually found a lot of the characters interesting in here. But a lot of them are just here to be like that one-note thing.
Yeah.
But you can't give everybody, like, not everybody's important to the overall story. But I think that a lot of the characters that they did actually take time to focus on actually did have importance. Like, they actually did have some depth to them.
Like, there was the girl who was like a drug addict, like...
Are you talking about Gigi?
Yes.
Are you talking about the one who was, like, teleporting all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my favorite running gag. Yeah, she doesn't have depth to her, really. I mean, she gives like one nice little speech in there, but she doesn't really have depth to her, but she didn't need it. Her entire role is to be their Tyler Durden. Like, at the end of this thing, if it turned out that she didn't even exist and she was like a shared hallucination that the two of them were having, I would have bought 100%. I love Gigi in this film. She is great. But yeah, I love this movie because there's so many times in which they will come in here and they will give some depth to some characters. Like, the teachers even get some depth in here. Like, they have a teacher who they actually are friends with.
Yes.
And they do actually kind of, like, suck up to. They actually do, like, have, like, a very positive relationship with her. And she comes back around later on here, and she's driving them around. And when she's driving them around, she's making a speech about all the stuff that she did in the past. And it's like, ooh. Oh, I didn't think you were that type of character. Okay. And then she actually goes to the park and she's like, yeah, okay, I used to party and stuff, maybe I'll pop in and say hi, like that kind of thing. And then she pops in, and she has her own story that appears from there. I love that they were able to do that with, like, characters. I love that they were able to take small characters and then just instantly give them, like, their own little mini journey in the side of this. And there's so many great just set pieces in here. Just, we go to a place, and this is the thing that is happening at this place. Like, there's a moment in which they have to go to a different party, and they go to the drama club's party.
Yeah.
And they're holding a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And it is so over the top. It is hilariously over the top. I love how much every single one of those actors just went 100% in on that entire sequence.
It's like I kind of had a problem with the over the topness in some of the in some of these scenes because like I expect that kind of over the top stuff like in the 90s teen movies and stuff, but it's like, oh, this is new, this is fresh. But they still do over the top stuff.
It is kind of weird. I can see what you're saying because this film, it feels like it's trying to be one of those almost like Lady Bird. It feels almost like it's trying to be like a heart-touching indie film, which it is a heart-touching indie film. But it's trying to be like one of those down-to-earth indie films.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It feels like it's.
But
supposed
then
to be
there are those moments where a cartoon character appears.
Yeah,
and I can understand that. I can understand that.
Yeah,
complaint.
so that's kind of what threw me off about this movie. But like,
I didn't have that problem, but I totally see it. Totally, because you are right. There are moments in which they're trying to come in here and go, well, yeah, it's a comedy, but it's a down-to-earth comedy. Like, one of the first things that happens is when Amy pulls up to Molly's house, and she comes out, you hear music blasting, and the two of them start dancing out on the lawn, and it's in slow motion. Then it cuts to a wide shot, and there's no music, and it's not in slow motion, so it's just these two nerd girls, like
basically the music is going on in their brains.
Yeah, like it's them just doing the worst dancing and just complimenting each other.
But it's like, that's something like nerdy friends would do.
Absolutely, and that feels like a down-to-earth thing. So then when you suddenly have the teleporting drug addict, I can understand how that feels kind of weird. I didn't have a problem with it, but I get it. I get that. But there are some other over-the-top moments in here that I think came in at the perfect time. Like, there's a moment they have to get to a party, and they're trying to track down where this party go, and they're like, oh, they've been ordering pizzas. They've been ordering pizzas all night. So they go to a pizza place, and they wait in the delivery guy's car, and they pop out of the back, and they go, all right, we need you to take us to this place. Are you robbing us? No. So you're hijacking me? Well, kind of. Do you even have a weapon? Not really. Oh, well, I have a gun. Yeah, and they get into this long exchange with the pizza delivery guy in which you think it's going to go in this very dark direction. And instead, he just basically gives them a lesson in, like, safety. Like, you gotta be smart about this. You can't just hop into you just hopped into a stranger's car. You don't know what I could do to you. Like, he is giving them, like, self-defense course lessons here in the backseat of his car. And he is, like, purposely, he is full-on admitting, I could be a crazy serial killer. You don't know? And you just risk this? What are you, crazy? Like, the just random pizza delivery guy comes in here making more sense than anybody else in the entire film. I love that they took like a crazy moment like that. Like, it's one of those things where it's a crazy moment, it feels over the top, and then he just comes in here with the biggest brick of reality and just smashes that whole thing. I love that entire sequence in there. And it comes back around for something that, this is like one of my few complaints with the film. It comes back around, I'm gonna try not to spoil it, but it comes back around in a way that is an amazing one-off gag. A great one-off gag. And then they take that one-off gag and they turn it into a plot point that actually is able to get them out of a massive bind. It gets them out of a huge problem that they're in. And I went, oh, it's kind of Deus Ex Machina. It's a little Deus Ex Machina how they got out of there. But not totally Deus Ex Machina because it is kind of set up. It's more just like the resolution just came in there at the end. Just like, oh, well, yeah, it's good. You know what? Who cares how we get out of this? The important thing is we got out.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, the thing, though, that really makes this film is Molly and Amy. I absolutely love seeing those two characters bounce off each other, and you feel so bad for Amy. I don't know if you did, but I felt so bad for Amy. Because Amy, she's just this kid who just wants to stay at home, just hang out with her friend. Molly's the one who's like, no, we are going to this party. We're the ones who waste our lives. We didn't waste our lives.
And like Molly tries to convince Amy to come along because her crush is at the party. What was the?
I don't even remember the crush's name, but yeah, she has a crush at the party. Which, by the way, I gotta say, Amy is gay in this film, and this is one of the better gay characters I have seen in any film this year. I thought that she was handled incredibly well, and it's not like she's just gay. It's like, oh, we're just gonna mention that once and everything. No, it's like actually a big part of her character.
But it isn't her entire personality.
Yes. Yeah, I really enjoyed the way that Amy was written.
Yeah. And it's like
you feel so bad for her because she is basically just like a deer, and Molly is just the car that is constantly just driving right up to her
It's-
and honking at her to move.
It's funny you mention that because I was a lot like Amy when I was in high school.
Oh, I think a lot of people were like Amy when they were in high school. I think that Amy is like an insanely relatable character in this film. And yeah, you just feel so bad for her because you can tell she doesn't care about going out to this party. She doesn't want to do this. Molly's just dragging around all over the place. And there does come that moment in here where like they just get into a fight. They get into a big knockdown, drag out, like I say that like it's actual like fisticuffs, but no, like it's all verbal stuff.
Yeah.
And man, you are watching like a friendship implode at that moment. And it is painful and awkward. And it's a gorgeously shot moment.
Yeah, and like you can actually like see like kids in the background like stopping what they're doing and looking at
like
them.
one by one, people in the background, like the camera is here, like on her, then moves over to her as they go back and forth to exchange like arguments back and forth with each other. And each time that it crosses back to the other one, you see a different person in the background and be like, what? Like just slowly turn up and
like pulling out the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like I really applaud this movie for doing that because that is absolutely something that would happen.
Oh, 100%.
But you never really see that happening in teenage movies. Like you always just see like the extras like doing their own thing and ignoring.
That's not even a teenage movie.
It's like,
that's in anything movie. Like anytime that I see a movie where like someone is getting into a screaming argument in public, or there's like a fight going on in public, or there's anything like, you know, anytime in which people are talking so loud that anybody would clearly be able to see the stuff that's going on. And everybody around them just like, no, whatever. Just like, I'm just walking around, just nothing, just mind my own business.
Nothing's happening. I don't hear any screaming. It's like.
Which in all fairness, sometimes that'll happen in a movie that's set in New York, and I'm like, yeah, that actually does kind of happen in New York.
Yeah, it's like, well, when you're in New York, you're used to that.
Yeah,
so.
I had that thought when I was watching Uncut Gems. That's why I'm bringing up New York, because there's a moment in Uncut Gems where Adam Sandler gets thrown into a fountain in public, and and no one reacts. And part of me was like, someone would react to that, and then I was like, no, it's New York. we wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would keep walking. I'd be like, that guy must have done something. But yeah, I think that was an amazing sequence. That's one of my favorite sequences in any movie this entire year. I think that was done insanely well. I loved it.
It's like one scene I really enjoyed was like the dance sequence, like when they finally get to the party and Molly has this fantasy about like dancing with Nick.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Because like that was like done in one shot completely.
Oh, I didn't even know this. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it's just like suddenly it's like transfer from like reality to like a fantasy, but because it was done in one shot, it's like, wow, that is really impressive.
Yeah. And I kept thinking that when they get to this part, it's going to be like the back end of this movie, like the very end of this film. They get there and there's still like 40 minutes left in this thing. Like there is an entire arc that happens at the party. This was not a movie about them getting to the party. This was like a movie about their last night, and the party is part of that. Yeah, I really think that this film has great pacing. I'm getting hiccups I'm so excited about. Yeah, I really enjoy the pacing. The writing is insanely clever. I keep talking about how Molly is kind of an asshole, but this film, it's about her learning she's an asshole. Like I said, there's that big moment in the beginning in which she learns, like, oh, I kind of wasted my high school years, but she still is like, no, I can still turn all this around by continuing to be a complete asshole to Amy. And when it gets to that big, like, blowout moment, yeah, it's great kind of seeing Molly kind of get her comeuppance a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's just Amy yelling at Molly about what bad friend she's been. No. Molly is firing back at Amy. Both of them have done something, but it is Molly kind of realizing, oh God, me. Which, by the way, the actress who plays Molly is Jonah Hill's sister, and it is so weird, like, because this film, it does remind me of Superbad a lot. And like, wow, you kind of are like Jonah Hill's character in Superbad, except whereas he was like an idiot, you're the smart version of that character. But that's not me coming in here and making any kind of like criticisms on the acting, like, oh, well, it's so reminiscent of another thing in there. I'm just coming in here and saying Jonah Hill can act, his sister can act as well. Both of them very talented. Both of them can do amazing jobs. So yeah, I really enjoy this. Anything else that you want to talk about here?
Well, that's pretty much it. Without
like going into like specific characters.
Yeah, or like any spoilers or anything.
Yeah, because I could come in here and just talk about like the parents in this film. They're so good here. Which there's so many big actors in here who are here for like the tiniest freaking roles. The tiniest role. Like Lisa Kudrow plays Amy's mom. She's here for 2 jokes. That's it. Jason Sudeikis is in here as the principal. He's here for like 2 jokes, although one of them is really good.
Yeah.
Which I love that. Again, this is another film that it is not afraid to get like raunchy. Like it is not afraid to go, we know what high school kids are doing. We know what high school kids are doing. Yeah, I love that this film is not afraid to like address some of that stuff. What the fuck was I going to say in here? The only real problem I do have is that there's one character at the party who plays a very big role for Amy. Both of us looked at each other and went, who the hell is that character? Like, we both had to go, was she in this film before that? Like, we had completely forgotten about that character. So that is my one real big complaint, is that I do kind of look at that character like, oh, well, for as important as you are, you weren't really set up all that well earlier in the film. But that's really it. Mm-hmm. I really like this thing. I would maybe give this thing a 9 out of 10. I really did like it.
I'd probably like give it an 8 because, like I said, there were some parts that were like too over the top.
Absolutely, yeah, I can understand your complaint on that. For me, it worked, but I do get like, I'm a guy who complains a lot about tone in films, about films not knowing what the tone is supposed to be, or trying to jam that square peg into that round hole. I can totally see somebody looking at this film and saying it is doing that. I enjoyed it though. I was totally fine with it, but I totally get it. So yeah, really liked it. But that's day 2 of the Quest for Best. We got 3 more of these to do, but come back tomorrow, in which we will not be doing Quest for Best. We're going to be doing the
Gauntlet of Garbage.
The total opposite of the Quest for Best, where we look back at the worst films of 2019. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Come back next time. Bye.
Bye.